Abuaboye Aboshishe is I Vakolade Mulade Vakosin of Sacred Hearts Healing Temple and Sacred Union Building Lineage, Legacy, and Trust. Let me say this in a real way. A lot of us have been walking around disconnected and not even realizing it. And it's not because something is wrong with us, it's because we were taught to be confused about who we truly are and what it is that we are truly connected to. Yes, so when people hear African spirituality, the first thing that comes to mind is voodoo, dolls, curses, devil worship, blood sacrifices, all of this fear mongering type of tactics. And I'm just going to say it straight like this: that was a narrative that was created. That is straight colonizer propaganda. That is fear based storytelling to make people turn away from something powerful, from something that reflects them, something that looks like them when they look in the mirror. The reason being is because what they were actually looking at was our healing that they couldn't have access to. That was our medicine, our connection to nature, our connection to divine source, into our ancestral lineages. That's what was really going on. And when you understand that, you start to realize that it was never about being evil, it was about being powerful. And anything powerful that reflects us that people don't understand and that they can't control, they try to label it as something dangerous, evil, dark. And I mean, there is beauty in dark. However, now that there's, part of people talking about this dark evil force, it is African spirituality that people have always called to directly. It has never been a religion. People of today don't even consider it as a religion who know what it truly is about. It was never about going to one person. It was never about one book. There was a bunch of rules that was simply tied in to scare you into obedience. That's just what it is. It's to separate your identity from yourself. It's about scaring you into connecting with your body and how you relate to nature, how you see yourself amongst nature, and understanding how to interpret your dreams and how to stay connected to your ancestors. And that's just it. And for a long time, our people were living like this well before the colonizers ever happened. So when you look across different African traditions, you start to see the same things show up over and over again. What is it? Respect for ancestors, respect for nature, understanding that life doesn't move in a straight line, but that it moves in cycles. And that part right there is important because when you understand life is cyclical, your whole perspective changes. You stop thinking in terms of they're gone or that's of the past and those are old ways and they no longer exist. Everything is still here. You are in the center of it. So when people saw our people communicating with ancestors, they misunderstood. They thought it meant something of evil worshiping or worshiping of the dead. But it wasn't worshiping, it was a veneration, it was communication. Because in our understanding, everything exists. Time is not separate the way that we've been taught. There's not anything of linear. It is not a line between past, present, and future. It's all connected. So, yes, of course, it would make sense that you could communicate with your ancestors. In fact, you're still connected to them today. You were never disconnected from them to begin with. That's why we are born with navels. That navel was connected to an umbilical cord. It is just that along the way, we were we forgot our path. And that's really what this is about. This isn't about going backwards. This isn't about trying to be something old or ancient just for the sake of it. This is about remembering what's already in you. Because this isn't something outside of you. You do not have to abandon yourself. It is in your blood. It shows up in your dreams. It's in your breath and in your rhythm. It shows up in things that you were taught growing up that you didn't fully understand at the time. And I want to say this too, because this matters. This is not a trend. This isn't something you just pick up when it feels good and drop it whenever it gets uncomfortable. This is a way of life. This is real. This is spiritual technology. This is a lineage. And when we really start to understand that, it changes how we move in life, especially when it comes to relationships, to understanding ourselves. Because now, sacred unions mhm, isn't just about love in the way people usually talk about it. It's deeper than that. It's about being aligned with who you are. It's about being aligned with your spirit. It's about understanding what you came from. And so you can actually build something that lasts long beyond your transition. Because if you don't know who you are, it's hard to build anything solid to begin with anyone else. And if you don't understand lineage, then you're really not thinking about legacy. The shift happens when we begin to move out of fear, out of confusion, and begin shifting into awareness, being in the center of it all. And if you're ready to actually go deeper into that, not just talk about it, but truly understand it and build from it, then that's where this work comes in.